With Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, now that Michael Jackson is back in the news, the one-time Neverland Ranch of the late pop star is returning to the market for a massive price reduction. It was $100 million asking price in 2015. Now it's just a mere $31 million. Meanwhile, realtors say the property didn't show well because of the drought.
I have a thought.
But that's not all.
We're now living in a time where this could be a good job for me. Dead celebrities require publicists.
Oh, yeah. The estate.
Yeah.
I just mean, like, literally publicists. Like, hey, we got to get out front of this whole John Wayne interview thing. Like,
you got to represent the estate of.
He's been dead for 37 years. Yeah, we got to get out in front of this story. Yeah. Someone's got to make a statement. We have to get Avatar to make, hey, Pilgrim. I like pilgrims of all colors. Like, they're literally like, this guy's being charged with molestation. Yep. This guy's being charged with being a racist. Like, you need a publicist for after you're dead.
Yep. There's no resting in peace.
I never thought about that.
You're right.
I wonder who's going to be my after-death publicist.
Oof. That's a lot of work. Well, this, they say, it had a little to do with the drought. With
Michael Jackson kind of needs a publicist.
And how.
Yeah.
Also, there was, I don't know if you remember, but there was a little controversy about him molesting kids, and now the documentary's coming to HBO. So
got to get out ahead of it.
Yeah. $70 million price reduction.
Oh, man. Yeah, don't you guys? Neverland Ranch is I always say, like, everything's sort of like the Batmobile. If you physically see the real Batmobile from the '60s show, you'll walk up on it and go, "No,
it's all foam.
Come on, it looks stupid. That's not real." You know what I mean? Like, when that's your Neverland. It's going to be that way. Like, it's bad carpet, bad paneling.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's like...
bunch of animals hanging from the chandelier.
Those statues, those creepy statues you
super
filled the home with.
Yeah, like you just have to...
If you've ever seen the game room of the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, yeah.
Everything orange carpet.
Everything cool about the mansion and also Neverland Ranch, I imagine, is the stuff in the house, the collectibles, the games, the whatever. Take all that stuff out. It's just a weird ranch up in the middle of goddamn
It just
nowhere.
looks like the 70s. It's weird because the game room at the Playboy Mansion is just bad carpet with way too much padding and a very, very bad 70s kind of thing. And it's like
sunken beds.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's
awesome.
sort of two things. Like one
cool.
side of it is sort of like, oh, I guess it should be this way. And then the other point is you'd want to redo it.
Yeah,
if
an
you
update
bought
every
that
10
place.
years.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Like half of his girlfriends. Update every 10 years.
Absolutely. Well, the doctor who prescribed anti-anxiety meds to Chris Cornell says the Soundgarden singer was well aware of the risks involving taking those drugs. His Dr. Robert Coblin, he's requested that the wrongful death suit filed by Cornell's widow, Vicky Cornell, be dismissed before it goes to trial. The Blast reports that Coblin has denied the allegations that he overprescribed Ativan before Cornell's suicide in May of 2017. And he adds that he's covered, actually, I didn't know this, covered by a malpractice law that protects doctors when a death occurs as a result of a patient's ongoing disease or condition. The doctor also claims that Cornell was asked not to be informed of all the risks with taking anti-anxiety medication. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Well, we'll have to ask his publicist.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
See? We need him.
You're very good.
Mm-hmm.
Way to get in front of that.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where people liked him while he was alive, but then when he died, they loved him.
Yeah.
Like, everyone just went nuts. Oh, he's my favorite. He's the greatest. Like, whatever. He's so rock and roll. And I was like, okay, well, a little more of this when he's alive. Maybe he won't kill himself next time.
And Vicky, his wife, was actually at Capitol Hill on Monday talking about the opioid crisis because obviously she had a lot of experience with that and how it's a brain disease and how we need to. And that's the thing I don't understand. Didn't Trump declare war or whatever we do on the opioid crisis? Isn't there a lot more attention and money going to that now, or did that go away?
Kellyanne's supposed to be on it, but I don't know what she's done so far.
Got
her
it.
and a
Okay.
24-year-old kid who worked on the campaign in Tennessee, who I'm sure has a lot of great ideas.
I'm sure they'll get back
to solve
to
this crisis.
Great.
It is a recipe for disaster because people are sort of turning on themselves, spending way too much time looking at screens and phones and arguing with people via Twitter we've never met before. The pill, it's funny, when I was a young boy, the notion of the future was a pill, but it was a food pill. Like it was like,
Yeah.
you're going to eat? Oh,
Sounds like a nightmare.
What is this pill? That's turkey and stuffing. Like it was stupid. Like that no, that's never going to happen. But the pill, take the pill and, so the mood is completely scrambled and altered by staring at a screen. Physiologically, and I'm not Chicken Little, like, oh, you spend too much time in front of the screen, you'll get eyeball cancer or something like that. But physiologically staring at a screen for 11 hours a day, probably not physiologically great. There's something going on. And then psychologically not great. And then somehow the pill's going to ease the pain a little bit. Like, we got to get back to the cabin, people.
Yes.
Like, we got to get back. We got to take an axe and start chopping wood. Like, we got to get back to it a little bit. Because the pill, I think the pill and the screen are kind of going hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've seen recently the best and quickest way to show that example is you put a toddler in front of the TV and their mood sucks and they're demanding and they're cranky and they're angry. You turn the TV off, you go play, and it's a different kid. I mean, I see it every 2 hours. If he's watching a movie or if he's not, it's a completely different child.
Yes, and we are going to make a decision.
What are you talking about?
It's my son. The path of least resistance is where we're going, and that's not the best path, but that's where we will go.
Yeah.
And that's to the screen and to the pill. Yep.
Well, speaking of drugs, a South Carolina man who went viral after he bought every
Chris
single...
Cornell documentary.
Oh.
Well, not a documentary, but... yes. Documentary. Sorry, by Brad Pitt. Not starring Brad Pitt, as I misread. Sorry. And Pete Berg. Pete Berg, director.
Wait, how is Brad Pitt involved?
He's directing, I think.
They both are working on it. They just announced it this month that they're making a Chris Cornell documentary.
Cool.
I love Pete Berg, but he's nuts. Talked to him once. I called him, and I'm like, where are you, Pete? He's like, I'm at sea. And I'm like, where are you? It's like, I'm on a sailboat. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm writing the movie Battleship. I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, can't you do that from land? He's like, not me. Like, okay.
Terrence Malick wanted to walk across the entire Southwest before he started writing Thin Red Line. He had to walk across the Southwest.
He should have kept walking.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
All right. Well, a South Carolina man who went viral after he bought every single box of cookies from a Girl Scout troop in order to get them out of the cold is now in jail. It's great. It's so great. Dietrich McGowan was called an amazing soul after he handed the girls $540 and told them, pack up your cookies. I'm taking them all so you can go home and get out of the cold. The photo he took went viral. Everybody loved him. And also the police recognized him as a big drug dealer.
I was going to say,
that they've been looking after, trying to get. McGowan was arrested Tuesday by the DEA and charged with unlawful possession of heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl with the intent to distribute. He's accused of running an operation to import drugs from Mexico. The arrest was the culmination of a long-running investigation and also netted 10 other arrests. No good deed goes unpunished.
And a pallet of Samoas.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa Samoas. Did you see those?
No.
Oh, they sold out.
Really?
Yep, they sold out.
Can I say this? I've been thinking about the Girl Scout cookies, and the Girl Scout cookies kind of serve two purposes. One is they want to raise money for the Girl Scouts, and then the other thing is you want to teach to young girls the entrepreneurial spirit. Having your dad show up and walk the halls of Jimmy Kimmel Live, essentially make him into a coyote / drug mule, and have him just walk up to everyone's desk and hit them up and
shaking them down.
You go, good, give me 3 of the peanut butter chocolate, and they go, oh, just 3? Gonna put you down for a case? Yeah. Cousin Sal bought a case up the way, and then you go, all right, screw it, put me down for a case of the peanut butter, whatever, and then you just sell 500 units of Girl Scout cookies and then just go home.
Yeah,
I don't know
about that.
Was that teaching her a valuable lesson? And by the way, let me tell you something, sweetheart. That's not how life works. You just dispatch your dad to go somewhere and go get the money and bring it back to you. I don't like that. My feeling is go sell your cookies, but don't take your dad or mom and deputize them and then give us the whole guilt trip at work where they show up and the money's going for the what can I put you down for, and then name all the other people who bought more than you're willing to buy.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. And on Facebook, when you scroll through, every girl I know, every woman says, my daughter's selling, and it's so much easier now. You can just go to her link, and I run it and just sign up. It's just, so they're not even getting off the couch.
I was going to say, it's part of the process. Were you a Girl Scout?
No, I was a campfire girl.
It's part of the process, though, right? Get out there, pound the pavement, or set up a stand, or do whatever. It's part of the...
Didn't your elementary school make you sell summer sausage and cheese?
Some version of that. We sold, No, not that, but we sold like
generalized
candy bars.
Anxiety disorder, I thought I was going to die.
They were
going door to door doing that.
League or something.
Yeah. They had to sell magazines at a public school. I was like, how this company seems like it's doing something illegal, deputizing kindergartners to sell magazines.
Trash bags for Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the weird little chocolate sort of bricks, the ones that are shaped kind of like a little gold ingot, or not ingot, but like a
gold bar.
Yeah, like a bar. Had a couple almonds in there. Come in a little cardboard case with 12, and then they give you a little miniature envelope to put the money in. You have to fold the money and stuff it into the... There's no medium-sized manila envelope. They got big and they got miniature.
They got
they have a medium one. And they'd have to stuff it in there. And I couldn't sell things to people. Like there was something wrong with my personality where like I couldn't go to people and go, hey, it's $1 for a candy bar. Because back then candy bars were like 50 cents. It seemed like overpriced. And my house didn't have any food and certainly no sweets, so I would stare at that brick of candy bars and I'd be like, I'm just going to eat half of the one. I'd have the one. And at some point, we'd get to the end of the thing for the East Valley Trojans Pee Wee football, and my envelope would have $3, and the box would have 1.5 candy bars in it, and they were trying to like make the math work. They're like, they're 9.5 candy bars that you've not... We only have $3.
Who's dipping in the till?
How do we make this work? And that was always the problem.
Yeah.
And there's always some asswipe who sold the most and like got a Schwinn Stingray or something. Yes. Parents, stop helping your kids do this. Let them get their little radio flyer and go down the corner.
Do it themselves.
Yeah. Hopefully Ted Bundy won't swing by in a VW van. Hopefully. God willing.
Adam, I think this was after your time, but Haley and Brian, did you guys have Book It? When you read enough books, you got a personal pan pizza?
Yes.
I never got one because I never read. I wasn't
a
voracious reader. Okay,
you guys didn't. You guys dodged a whole green. Oh God, RW, whatever, green stamps or blue stamps or the green stamps I've told you guys about. You get that. This is a weird. I don't know who came up with this. Max Patty. I think they're called green stamps. His initial. Anyway. You fill up a tank of gas, you get 10 stamps. They were came like postage stamps, kind of stuck together and perforated. And you went to the supermarket and you spent more than $20. You get 10 stamps. I don't know how they worked it out, but that's how they worked it out. And then you take them all home and put them in a booklet. And, each booklet had 100 stamps. And if you got 20 booklets, you could get a kayak or a tent. It was S&W green stamps.
S&H.
Oh, S&H. Sorry.
Seems like a lot of work.
An H, it kind of looks like a W. Green stamps. And you just cash them in and get some stupid thing that you couldn't use, like a lantern or something. And I don't know how it worked or why it worked, but it was a big deal for poor people when I was young.
Damn.
All right, go ahead, Gina.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, Fox News reports that 3 Sonic drive-in locations in Ohio are without employees after the entire staff of each one staged walkouts this week to protest new management. According to reports, Circleville, Lancaster, and Grove City have all experienced complete walkouts after the fast food stores were purchased by new ownership, which they did not like. According to an Ohio news outlet.
Well, I boycotted Sonic because I don't like those gay dudes that are just parked out front of there eating their chili dogs.
Why are you there all day long?
Talking about eating their Frosties and Blizzards and stuff.
Innuendo.
I don't approve. I got kids.
You have better things to do?
It's a weird message to send. A couple of gay fellas just sitting in the parking lot.
Loafing.
What you do on your own time in the darkness of your own apartment is one thing.
That's right.
Out in the sunlight for everyone and God to see.
Again, I got kids.
Thank you.
I got kids.
How am I supposed to explain that?
I don't care how good those tater tots are. Well, they claim, the employees claim that their wages were reduced to basically $4 an hour.
I'd like to get hold
employees.
of Jared from Subway.
I know where you can find him.
The very first year the 2 Sonic guys came out, and I'd show him that ad. You know, Jared, he's like Dr. Drew when he talk about other doctors. He just like folds his arms. Go, yeah, call me in 2 years, see if he's still working. You know what I mean? Like that's his thing.
He'll be able to trash you with flow.
Right. That's right.
I love how much snitching there is on him from like the other people in the prison. Like there's some Aryan Nations guy going, "Hey, Jared's getting fat again." Like there's always these stories about what he's up to in prison. And I'd love to see the hardened criminals who are gossiping
Dropping
about
the dimes.
Jared Fogle.
Yentas.
If you told Jared first year those guys came out that 10 years from now they're going to be going strong and you're going to be in the joint.
Your name will not be uttered in the hallways of Subway.
Yes, he would have been confused by that, right?
Very. So the new management says that's all a lie and we're not doing that. But this was the letter that was stuck to the door. If you wanted to go in and get a limeade or whatever, it would say, "Warning," all in handwriting. A lot of misspelled. Due to terrible management, the whole store has quit. The company has been sold to people that don't give I imagine, shit about anyone but themselves. Sorry for the inconvenience, but our team refuses to work for a company that treats their employees like shit. When they have put everything into the store, we have worked too hard for too long. We are all off to better things. So to the new owners, F you.
By the way, if you work for Sonic, the second you step outside, you're technically off to better things. Like you could take a municipal bus to hell and you'd be off to better things.
Well, Shirley's moved on to better she was in the bathroom? Okay.
Well, so was it one management team that managed the three
I think that
Sonics?
took over a little franchise of 3 operations. And
well, it's everyone's fault. It's everyone's fault because when I worked at McDonald's, my manager Ken would just call me like boy. You know, what I mean? Like, hey boy, get over here, give a sweep and a mop, whatever. Now everyone's a team member.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a team member. Well, we're a team, so we can rebel as a
One
team.
goes, we all go.
Yeah, when you're Goomper number 4 and somebody yacked in one of the stalls in the men's room and you got to go clean it up, you're not a team member.
You march your gi in there.
Yeah, no, you don't go. You watch your tone, or I'm going to.
That's how that works.
Yeah, I'm going to organize a
revolt
boycott.
to sit in.
Yeah.
Guess what they called us?
You see Norma Ray?
No, but I
Well,
understand.
let me explain.
I understand
Guess what they called us when I worked at the catalog phone center for Disney in Lawrence, Kansas, when I was in college.
Were you a cast member?
Yes, I was.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I was.
Oh,
yeah.
And if you were
Disney.
let go, you were cast away.
I like that, actually.
Yeah.
The euphemistic titles for the minimum wage jobs, in a way, a little sadder. Like I don't know. I also feel that way about waiter, waitress versus server. It's like that's a move toward the light. You're my servant.
Where do you
Just
stand
bring
on
me
flight
something?
attendant
I think that's a male female
versus stew
thing or stewardess or whatever. Anyway, somebody. I believe them. Somebody came in there. And,
Lay down the law.
laid the law down.
The other 2 stores also had notes. One just said "Thank you next," which is an Ariana Grande song, and the other one just said "Goodbye." Allegedly, they cut their rate or their pay to $4 an hour plus tips, and everyone's just like,
What?
Okay, who like?
No
how can
one
you
tips at a Sonic's.
Yeah, so that's
Exactly.
why.
Tips at fast food.
I literally just said that, just so we're clear.
Sorry.
Thank
Okay,
you.
no problem.
Sorry, I'm looking up stuff at the same time.
Someone's getting territorial over the news.
Sometimes I just don't know what's
$4
happening.
an hour, you said?
The news in Mexipata.
They said no, Chris, I'm just messing with you. No, they did say that for tipped employees, I don't know, the car hop, whatever.
that's right.
Valet.
Lower to 4, but the management says that's not true. So we'll see what happens in Sonic in Ohio.
Do they have to provide their own roller skates to do that?
That's a very good question.
I wonder how they do that.
Well, Brian, I'm very curious what you think of this. You're a gin guy.
Indeed.
You like your gin?
Please.
Well, staff at a small distillery are still stunned after they were awarded the best gin, best contemporary gin in the world.
Wow.
Sheringham Distillery won the honor last week at the 2019 World Gin Awards.
Let's get some in here.
Hosted by Gin Magazine in London, England. Their little
Wait,
seaside.
are they in London? Or
They're in Canada. Their little seaside gin was first recognized as the best in Canada and was up against 22 other gins in the rest of the world. Would you like to know what their secret ingredient is?
Wait a minute. If you tell me it's kelp,
What if I do tell you it's kelp?
I think I've had this.
Really?
Is it kelp?
It amazing? Yeah,
No.
it's kelp.
It's not. It's not amazing.
That is
be a
that is the main
fishy
ingredient.
kind of-
I've had this.
Yeah. Briny.
No, exactly. So I recognize the bottle. The secret ingredient, not secret, but like their thing is kelp, like seawater and kelp.
Sustainable,
and all that stuff.
yeah.
I don't know if it's sustainable, but it definitely
they said
has
it
a.
is.
Oh, okay, there you go. I tried it last weekend, and it has a definite ocean flavor to it. And this is the kind of thing you can get like beer nerds can get too into beer, and they like beer that tastes like sunflowers or something weird. And it's like, I just want beer that tastes like beer. Like I want gin that tastes like gin. I don't need the kelp in my beer.
Well, especially with gin that already tastes like pine trees.
Yeah,
so now
botanicals and all that. Like
Yeah.
this was a little too out there. The bartender served it to me was all too happy. Like, you got to try this. This is the best. And I'm like, all right, by all means. And it was like, it tastes kind of weird.
They overstep sometimes. I had some
like
whiskey
seaweed.
that had like a mushroom flavor
Yeah.
to it,
I
and
don't
it
know.
was disgusting.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't want a savory
fungus.
whiskey.
Ugh,
You can get too into a drink, whether it's beer or wine or liquor or whatever, and like you're constantly looking for the next crazy thing, the next flavor,
Yeah.
the next that no one's been done before. It's like, we got gin figured out. What's good?
Worked for
Broken?
thousands of years.
I kind of feel that way about the super mossy whiskey. Like I'm sort of like, I want the best gin flavor whiskey, rye flavor. Give me the best
Yes.
you got, but we
go
cannot
exotic.
verge off into different flavors.
Right.
Now it's weird.
Yeah, I agree. What do you guys have? Do you have a favorite Scotch or whiskey? The one you go to every time.
I've heard what's Mark Garrigus always talking about.
I can answer for gin.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
the Botanist. It's the best.
Oh, yeah.
The Botanist is amazing.
I did go to Chris Morgan's house, and he did get out all the stuff, like the good stuff,
Yeah.
and put it all together and make a gin and tonic that was quite a bit better than the gin and tonics
Nice.
I've been used to drinking
Dive bar.
in the park for
Right.
so many years.
We haven't done our side by sides in a while. We did vodka and we did, I think, some beer.
Tequila? Do we do tequila?
We haven't done tequila yet.
Oh,
Let's
we
do-
got to do that.
What do you guys want to do next?
Well,
Do
my
gin.
Gin.
that would be
Alright.
great. I don't love gin, but I'll be very curious to see if you can get me to like it. My go-to cocktail or my go-to drink is Glenlivet. It's the only one I can get down. Very, very smooth. You guys fans? Glenlivet?
Haley?
Like Talisker and Oban, I think those are in that world.
Write those down.
Garrigus
forward,
likes the Macallan 18 or 21. And Garrigus, I think, has told me that the price of this stuff, what used to be $1.75 is now like $4.50. Some of this scotch.
Oh, wow.
It's like if you go to the boutique liquor stores, it's
I can see
gone
that.
through the roof. All right.
18 is like $300.
$300.
Damn.
All right, let's do one more, Gina Grant.
All right. Well, Fox News reports that an owner of a food cart in Eugene, Oregon, says he's thankful no one was injured when the cart exploded a few days ago. And we have some footage of that. So I'll have you watch this real quick. And boom,
wow.
it is
It did explode.
decimated.
Wow.
The food cart, which specialized in fried chicken, blew up shortly before 8 a.m., and a nearby surveillance camera got the whole thing on tape. The neighboring Oakshire Brewing Pub house, their door blew off. All their taps started spewing beer. And
Get over there quick.
Yeah.
local firefighters say a faulty gas line is to blame for the incident, and that thing went up.
Well,
No
it's
one's
gonna
hurt.
it's gonna happen. I mean, there's so many carts and food trucks and whatever. It's just
hard to
kinda-
regulate
It's
those.
kind of bound to happen, right? I mean, it's one thing to have a hardwired gas line going into a restaurant, but having the tanks of like propane and stuff and
wheeling
just
around.
driving around with
Yeah.
those things. Kind of surprised it doesn't happen more. Though the guy who runs the Staples Center did say one of those ghetto wiener.
Street dogs.
It's a good name for a title of a movie.
HaleyJoelOsment in.
That's the spin-off
Ghetto
for Game of
Wiener.
Thrones
Yeah.
movie we're doing, yes.
Sorry, Haley, you're going to be watching though during the scene. There's ghetto wieners taking over. But
Forrest Gump 2, Ghetto Wiener.
ghetto wiener. They said those things blew up and caught on fire. And I mean, you have a
There's just propane tanks in grocery carts.
yeah. It's kind of weird that we don't have more.
Well, I'm sure he's doing everything in his power to shoo him away from the Staples Center.
It is weird that we live in a society where the Staples Center came in to downtown and basically revitalized downtown.
It just vitalized it. There was nothing. It was, it was
Yeah,
a
there
ghost
wasn't
town.
anything.
Live,
Right.
yeah.
They've spun off all these different venues and restaurants and commerce and so much foot traffic. And then what they throw off in in taxes every year. It's got to be unthinkable. It's tens of millions of dollars in taxes.
Well, just the economic impact too. I mean, the parking, the attendance, everyone that works there, they employ 1,000 people a night at least.
And then they lease out all the restaurant storefronts, all the people that are on the property and everything. And when I said to the guy who ran that place, I don't get it. The last time I went there, I walked down, I tripped over a guy selling hot dogs but he was not in the street. He was on your property. He was right by the door. He's like, yeah, nothing we can do. I was like, what do you mean nothing you can do? Call the LA City Council, call the LAPD, get these guys removed. They're on your property. They're selling food. They're unlicensed. What are you talking about? And he's like, I don't want to get in trouble with the LA City Council. And I'm like, what do you mean get into trouble? All you do is pay taxes. Just go tell them to clean it up. And he's like,
not that easy.
I'll get
would that I could.
It's not going to work. I'm like, okay, wow. All right, everybody. I don't know. I don't like this.
The
progress.
bad optics of the cops coming in and sweeping out brown people who are trying to scrape together a living.
I get it, but let's be colorblind and just say they're folks selling food that's unregulated on your property to customers, and let's get them removed.
And you did shed some light on that operation that I did not realize.
There's a couple of things. He immediately
delicious. Number one.
Immediately pulled out his phone and showed me a giant cockroach roasting on a hot dog that one of his guys. But also, he said, the thing is like. Look, these aren't poor migrant families trying to make ends meet. What happens is basically the coyotes realize that the kids don't really get busted and the women don't get busted like the dudes get busted, so they just get the kids and they get them all gathered up in a van somewhere in Pacoima, and then they drive them out to the edge of the whatever, and then they tell them all, and then the money goes back to the coyote. Goes back to the pimp.
Yeah, I was going to say
essentially.
Yep.
They get a little snippet, but it's
of course
it could go no other way, right?
When it's unregulated, it's going to of course go the way.
It could go no other way.
Mafioso stuff.
So, all right, LA City Council, get involved. How about you just do this? Enforce the law, and it doesn't matter what color anyone is. It'll just be the law. Yeah. You know that broad who's holding the scale?
She's Lady Justice?
She's wearing a blindfold for this reason, right?
That blind broad?
She's playing pin the tail on the donkey?
Right, yeah, that's what she's doing. She's at a birthday party?
No, she's not hitting a piñata. She's in the Justice Department. That's why she's got the blindfold on.
I didn't know that.
So go look at your own statue.
Thank you.
All right,
study up, Gina.
Let's bring it up.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
I got kids yo age.
Gina. That was the news with Gina Grad.